It's your daily dose of Donna. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, February 6th. And just like Blake Lively said yesterday, another day, another lawsuit. It's another day with so many stories here on Daily Dose of Donna. You guys, welcome to the show. This is such a special week for Daily Dose of Donna. Not because, I'm kind of getting sick of my own voice. And I hope you guys aren't getting sick of my voice, because I feel like this has been a week where it's like I've been on a lot of shows, and I take it. I'm so grateful for so many of my friends inviting me on their shows. As of course, I was on Dumois today. I was on my friend Molly Dare's show, Polarized with Molly Dare. Yesterday, I was on my friend Dana's show, the Bravo Investigator. You guys have to go listen to that. I was on that today. I've been on so many different shows this week, so please go and check out all of their podcasts. To name a few others, because I always like to shout out my friends. I was on Morgan's Pop Talks. I was on The Vault. I was on so many, and I don't want to forget any, but make sure to go check out all of the different podcasts that I've been on. Support my friends. They're all phenomenal podcasters out there. I always like to support other people's shows, so make sure to check them out. But thank you for coming back to the home base. The home base is Daily Dose of Donna. This is where we all come to get the big scoop. And I have Scoopy Doopy Doopy Doo. Okay? I got so much Scoopy Doop. I really do. Oh, and this is a great moment to shout out my newsletter. Someone asked, Teletubbies said, can you list them all in the caption of this live stream? This is a great place to say that every single weekend we send out a newsletter. And you can sign up if you go to dailydosepod.com/newsletter, or just go to dailydosepod.com, and all the links are there. You can shop my merch. You can get all the links for everything. You can get on the Facebook group, everything. And in the newsletter, you will get the links to all the things I talk about. So some of my shows, some of the shows I'm on, some of the things I talk about in terms of like all the sponsors that cover my show, or my favorite like clothes that I buy, or, whatever, just like my skincare. A lot of you guys ask about, my skincare. So this is going to be really, really fun. Oh my God, Yvonne, I'm dying. Yvonne says, oh my God, this is my first live from up in the air. I'm supposed to be taking care of my passengers. Yvonne, but it's Daily Dose of Donna time. I'm addicted. Yvonne, I'm dying. You have to, you are a flight attendant, my friend, in this time, in this day and age. You are doing the service that I am bowing down to you, because it is quite a time to be a flight attendant, Yvonne. I love you, and I am thinking of you right now. Wow. Love you. Thank you so much for your service. Really, everyone here, you guys. And also, can you get me a Bloody Mary? Okay, 23E. I'm in the back by the airplane. I mean, by the bathroom. So Bloody Mary. Thanks. Okay, so let's go on to the show. I have so much to talk about, and thank you so much for subscribing and liking. That is all that I ask of you here, because I am a self-funded show. There's no big production studio. I don't got 5 different camera angles. I don't have a big production team. I don't have an editing team. It's just me, myself, and I. And Frankie, my little dog, my 14-year-old dog that's just sitting on the floor, snoring away. Little Frankie, my little half Chihuahua, half Papillon. So please come on in and support the show. And I see all the comments from Switzerland, from Germany, from Sweden. You guys are all over the place. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's get into the show. So much to report. Taylor Swift, now we know why she wrote the song. You know which song I'm talking about. I can't play it because then her people are going to come after me. And Tree Payne, she's on. Tree Payne, she's got the hand. Tree Payne is ready to come after us. You need to calm down. You're being too loud. That's what she's saying. She's saying, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Blake, you need to just stop. Could you just not? That's what she's telling Taylor Swift. I mean, that's what she's telling Blake Lively. Yes, she is. According to last night, the Daily Mail, and this morning, according to TMZ. So let's go through these articles. Taylor Swift is really pushing Blake Lively as far away as possible. I don't know who's doing better work here. Well, we know Leslie Sloan is really not. Leslie Sloan is absolutely not doing the best work. She's really failing here. Leslie Sloan, of course, is Blake Lively's publicist, but Tree Payne is doing everything she can to drown out all Blake Lively and all It Ends With Us news. When you Google Taylor Swift, everything that is coming up is anti-Blake Lively, like I don't want to be friends with Blake Lively, and talking about Super Bowl stuff. Travis Kelce, is he going to propose? What is Taylor Swift wearing to the Super Bowl? Any of it, right? So according to, well, let's start with the first article that popped up last night, which was on Daily Mail, and it said, let me pull it up here. It said, the article says how Taylor Swift tried to tone down. Oh, this is so funny. I'm getting hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Taylor Swift is telling me to calm down. How Taylor Swift tried to tone down Blake Lively years before Justin Baldoni legal nightmare caused a rift. So not only did Taylor Swift tell Blake Lively to calm down right now, she said, now, from Australia, thank you so much, Rachel. I wish I could do an Australian accent, but I would never dare because I'll mess it up. She says, years before this legal nightmare caused a rift. So now not only, this is good, you guys. She hasn't been friends with Blake Lively for years. She's had issues with Blake Lively for years. You guys, she just showed up at that penthouse, not because she's friends with Blake Lively, because she had to just pick up, the pair of pants that she lent her when they were friends, right? They used to be friends, and now she just had to go over there because she was so over her, and now she had to just get her old belongings. This is such a crock of bull. We can smell this from a mile away, tree. Sorry. This article says, on Daily Mail, it says Taylor Swift tried to help her close friend Blake Lively tone down her ballsy. Why is there so much ball talk when it comes to Blake Lively? Blake Lively is a big ball lover. She loves her balls. She said it, not me. Ballsy nature years before the actress's legal roller coaster with Justin Baldoni. Okay. According to this article, it says that insiders claim Swift had tried to advise her pal about going full throttle. It's very sexual. You guys, are we seeing the sexual nature here? There's a lot of talk about throttle. There's a lot of talk about balls, no teeth, clit space, clit test, perineum. Okay. Anatomy lesson, family show. This is not a family show. Taylor Swift admires that Blake Lively is a ballsy There are some people out here that are getting off on all of this conversation. This is your daily dose of balls and perineums. Okay. Taylor Swift admires that Blake Lively is a ballsy chick who speaks her mind, swears like a trooper. This prude little girl who gets sexually harassed swears like a trooper and speaks her mind and is ballsy. Unless someone else does it. And refuses to be controlled by anyone. So Taylor Swift admires this about her, a source said to Daily Mail. That's the real reason they bonded and became firm friends when they first met 10 years ago. Taylor saw her doppelganger in Blake. The main difference between them is that Taylor is more subtle. Blake has always gone full throttle about everything. She never holds back, and that's what's caused the tide to turn on her. Taylor has tried to help tone down Blake in the past. Oh, I'm sure. Blake, you need to calm down. You're being too loud. Okay? You need to just stop. Could you just not? Sure, Jan. Taylor has tried to help tone down Blake in the past, but now she knows it's never going to happen, you guys. Taylor has tried. Poor Taylor. She has tried. Sue wants to know if my boys ever catch a glimpse of my podcast. My boys know exactly who I am. Yes, absolutely. Candace says, to celebrate my second month of being a member of my YouTube, she's making a Blake Lively bonsai tree to send to Donna. Kidding. LOL. Thank you. Then the article continues and says, right now, while they're still close, there's a slight shift because of the It Ends With Us drama. Taylor does not like the fact that she's been dragged into it. Well, of course not. Who would? In the lawsuit filed okay, so of course then it talks about the lawsuit. We know that 100%, 100%. And then that's kind of all it says about that. So yes, according to Daily Mail, it says that she definitely does not want anything to do with it. Now, TMZ, top article, 11 a.m. this morning, 5 seconds before my show started. They were waiting for Daily Dose of Donna. I got a little insider information with Harvey Levin. He goes, when's Daily Dose of Donna starting? Dropping it just for her. It says, Taylor Swift, Bad Blood with Blake Lively. I'm Not Your Dragon. That's the new song. I heard. There's going to be a new article, a new album that comes out next month that says, I'm Not Your Dragon. Okay? It's not Reputation anymore. It's going to be called Not Your Dragon by Taylor Swift. And it says that she feels used by Blake Lively. She does. She feels very used. Always. Taylor Swift always feels used. Don't you know that's the thing? There was a critical meeting, as we know, between Blake and Ryan. And Justin says the meeting got super heated and he felt ambushed because Ryan and Taylor showed up. But a well-connected source close to Taylor tells TMZ that Taylor just came to Blake's apartment at the time, Blake told her, not knowing anyone else would be there. I hear police sirens literally outside of my house. Fire department, police sirens. They're coming. They're coming to me. They found me. It's happening, you guys. It's happening. They just drove by. Okay, so Taylor basically is saying she had absolutely no idea that it was going to happen. Thank you, Sandra. That was going to happen, this meeting. The source goes on to say that Justin was about to leave after the 2-hour meeting as Taylor walked in, and she was introduced to him for the first and only time. We're told all Taylor said to Justin was how excited she was to see the movie because he was her friend's boss. Of course. Hello, boss of Blake Lively. Our source says Taylor believed Blake timed her meeting with Justin so Taylor would arrive before he left and is baffled by Blake later characterizing her as a dragon. The source adds, it's weird to say that as her friend. Yeah, it is weird. And if any of my girlfriends called me their dragons, I would have a real hard time looking at them in their eyes afterwards. Like, call me a lot of things, but not your dragon. That's odd. And there's more. The source says Taylor is also learning that Blake has been inappropriately leveraging her name for a long time, like telling a young actress that Taylor cast her, which simply did not happen. This is a huge falling out, TMZ says. Taylor is a godmother to one of Blake and Ryan's kids. Well, let's talk about the casting thing for a quick second. So this casting thing, I don't think that Taylor just told young Lily that's Isabella Ferrer. I don't think that that's the case. I actually believe in my heart, I believe that the truth is that actually did happen because Justin even said that. I believe that Taylor may have not actually. Here's what I think happened just from my casting background. This is my guess. My guess is that Justin said, the casting director, who I remember the name, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but I looked her up and I know her, I remember her name, but I want to say she's an East Coast based casting director. And I work here in the West Coast. And I know a lot of casting directors and I don't remember exactly who she is, but I can find out. I'm sure we have mutual friends. So the East Coast casting director found Isabella Ferrer's tape. She auditioned on tape. They did an open call. But I'm sure she got submitted through her agent or whatever. They found her tape. They passed her tape on to Justin Baldoni and probably various other producers. Justin loved her. Justin then sent the tape over to Blake, I'm assuming. But Blake probably was like, I want Taylor Swift to see this. Then I'm assuming that that's what happened because when Justin was asked about it on a red carpet or on some sort of interview, they said, I heard Taylor had to see the tape. And Justin was kind of like put into an awkward position. He was like put into between a rock and a hard place. And I think he had a moment where he didn't really have anything else he could say except like, yeah, Taylor had to see it. Because what is he going to say in those moments? Is he going to say, well, no, Taylor really had no choice. she had no influence there, or she had no impact, or she shouldn't have had to see it. Of course he's not going to say that. He still is kissing the ring in that moment. He had to say exactly. Didi says between a rock and teeth. He was between a rock and hard teeth, and he had no other choice. He has to still kiss Blake and Taylor's ass in those moments. So he still had to say, like, yes, Taylor did have something to do with her casting. And then they used it on top of Isabella's head and made her feel like Taylor had so much to do with you being here. And then, of course, we saw the interview of Blake Lively on that panel saying, like, Taylor had so much to do with this. Taylor is like, get me the F out of this, understandably. Now, in addition to that, I want to talk about some other things that have come out since yesterday on this story, because this is a lot of stuff that's going on. First of all, I want to talk about yesterday. Right after my show, Bryan Freedman, or during my show, I can't remember exactly when. You guys were saying it yesterday in the comments. Bryan Freedman, my new favorite best friend, spoke on the Two Angry Men podcast, which I didn't even know was a podcast. And it's Harvey Levin from TMZ and Mark Garagos, who is a huge attorney, and I believe is actually Bryan Freedman's attorney, if not Bryan Freedman's friend and attorney. I don't know, but I just know his name from being a huge attorney. They all three were speaking, and Bryan Freedman mentioned Taylor Swift because he's using this as leverage. Essentially, we don't think it's ever going to trial. It sounds to me like it's never going to go to trial. They're going to settle because Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds just don't have enough. There's no way they're going to want it to go to trial. At the end of the day, all of these people, Taylor Swift, Don Saladino, this trainer that I'm going to go into and talk about it in 2 seconds. Rebecca says it was the first episode of Two Angry Men. Yesterday was their first show. Okay, good. Because I was like, I've never even heard of Two Angry Men. And then I kept thinking about the Charlie Sheen and John Cryer show. What is that show? Two men and a baby. Can't remember what this show was. Two something men. But Bryan Freedman said, like, we're not above bringing in all of these people to depose. They're part of the case, and we will depose them. 2.5 men. Thank you. And so that is what Bryan Freedman was saying. And this is going to be used as leverage because Taylor Swift is like, get me out of here, settle. And I guarantee you, Blake is shaking in her boots because nothing is worse or nothing is scarier than knowing that you have brought your friends into this. But she should have thought about all of these things before the first complaint. And her attorneys and her publicists and her team and her husband, all of these yes people around her, which I'm assuming she's surrounded by yes people, are so sorry. I'm just going to put it out there. They're so stupid. They're really so stupid because did they not think 2 steps ahead? Did they not think it's like they were playing checkers and everyone else is playing chess? Blake Lively and her team literally did not think 2 steps ahead. They thought 1 step ahead. They thought we are literally going to put this out there and everyone's just going to be like, bye. Okay, cool. Justin Baldoni is a sexual predator and we're off to the races. They had no idea that this was going to come out. They had no idea of the potential fallout. What? I'm just putting it out there. You know, I'm unfiltered in terms of my opinion. What dumbasses. Literally, what dumbasses. They never thought of where this was going to go. They never thought of how many other people were going to be implicated. They never thought about how many other celebrities were going to be named here. I mean, so stupid. And they're literally now Brandon Sklenar and Isabella Ferrer and Jenny Slate and Colleen Hoover and all these other people that they brought in look so dumb because of them. So it's really, really crazy that they did all of this without thinking ahead. And if I were anyone involved in this case, all for what, which and I've said this so openly, and I'm really, really sorry if anyone out there is a victim of sexual harassment or has been a victim of any sort of sexual assault or anything, because a lot of you in my comments and a lot of you in my audience are victims or have been victims. And I would say I've been a victim of sexual harassment on a set before. I've talked about it before. So, you know, I don't need to go in detail here. I've been a victim and I never once considered taking legal action. I've never even once considered going to my boss because I just took it like a grain of salt as a young person on a set. At the time, I think Survivor. Thank you. Survivor. Yes, a survivor. Warrior. Thank you. I like that. I think that what I believe is that what she went through, if all of this is true, and I've said this before, so I hope this doesn't sound, insensitive. What she went through is not even close to as bad as other people have had it. It's not even that bad. And I just don't understand in what capacity she thought that the juice was worth the squeeze, ever, other than just to ruin his life. So, case closed. Wrap that shit up. Just kidding. Let's do a quick little update on some Don Saladino deep diving that I did. Okay. Don Saladino, I just want to write down a little bit of a timestamp because I'm getting a lot of DMs about like, why aren't you putting timestamps? I'm trying. It's a lot of information every day. Don Saladino is this trainer that I believe really, really tipped the scales. Pun intended. Weight shaming, fat shaming. I think Don Saladino really tipped the scales when it came to starting this negative vibe between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Justin Baldoni because it was so early in production. And Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds suggested that Justin Baldoni start working with their trainer, Don Saladino. And as we know, they got on a phone call together and they started working together. And apparently on this phone call, there was a scene in the movie that was written where Justin had to bend over and scoop up Blake Lively, and Justin had bulging discs and back pain, which, by the way, right now, I did something very painful to my back. I have this one spot on my right side of my back, and it hurts so bad. And like the idea of bending down and picking something up and moving, like I can't even imagine it. So if I had some serious back pain and I had to do that in a movie, I can imagine asking, well, how heavy is this person that I have to do this to? And how heavy do I have to pick her up? Like, it does not in any way seem fat shaming or weight shaming. So for all of those people that still feel that way, I don't understand it. I really don't get it. This is take the person out of it. It's an object. Like, you have to pick up an object. Forget that it's a woman or a man it could have been a dog. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. For me, I don't like if someone had to pick me up in a movie and they said, well, how much does Donna weigh? I would never be sensitive about it. It's a body. Like, you have to pick up an object. I just don't get it, but whatever. So I did get a DM. I mentioned this yesterday and then they hadn't responded. I got a DM. It's like 15 voice notes on Instagram and they're each like 4 minutes. So it's a long story, but I am, very, very sure with the detail that I was received from this person that this is 100% accurate. They have so much detail. This person worked with Don as a client for a long time in during the course of this time, like 2020, I want to say like 2022, maybe like 20, I can't remember the exact years, but like 2021, 22, 23, like around those times. Okay. They found Don Saladino because of Ryan Reynolds, actually. Ryan Reynolds, this person was a huge Marvel fan, a huge Ryan Reynolds fan, and kind of followed Ryan Reynolds' career. But they were also very, very interested in working out and very interested in bodybuilding and very interested in like weight and, keeping in shape. So when they were following Ryan Reynolds, they happened to come across his personal trainer, Don Saladino. And then when Ryan Reynolds married Blake Lively and Don Saladino started training Blake and started to promote Blake Lively and a program specifically for women, like a Blake Lively Look Like Blake Lively program. So basically, Don started to create this kind of like look like, specific, very specific, look like Ryan or look like Blake program. So you have to understand, Don was hedging a lot of his business on the fact that he was Ryan and Blake's trainer, which makes sense if your clients are huge celebrities and they look really good and they're okay with it. It makes sense that you're going to say my celebrity clients look like this and hire me because of my celebrity clients. As long as they're okay with it, that makes sense. Okay. So this person started working with them. It was an online program. It was one of those monthly programs where you pay a certain amount of money and you have these Zooms and you have these Facebook groups and you have these challenges. And you were promised a certain kind of like check-in all the time or whatever. Blake and Ryan were like, they were being promoted throughout the entire challenge, right? They were constantly being promoted, but they were never really part of the challenge at all. But they were always being kind of leveraged in the conversations. So for example, the conversation was like if Don was in the conversation, there was a lot of time where if a woman was saying something, they were like, Don would say like, oh, I showed your picture to Blake. She's really, really impressed with this. Or like Ryan saw your picture and he thought it was really great. So there was a lot of conversations about like using the celebrities. Sebastian Stan was mentioned a lot, or was even part of the program at some point. There was a lot of like name dropping, right, from the trainer. And that to, a small, person in the middle, like Midwest, Illinois, just say, who wants to look good and is like, oh my God, Ryan Reynolds is looking at my picture. That feels like really cool. And you can understand that, right? Now, as a person, as a human being, this person that I spoke to said they didn't feel like there was anything slimy or shady or weird about Don. They said that Don was actually a very nice person. They felt like he was a very good trainer. And they felt like his wife, who runs his business, I think her name is like Melissa or Melanie or something, is also really kind. I guess it's a family business. The kids are very involved or like very brought up, also really great. So it's almost like, and this person said something really, really interesting, and I thought it was a great term to use. Let me pull it up really fast. They said something really interesting. They said that all of this may have been, the wording was, a casualty of being too close to a glow of fame, which I loved this wording. So what happened was at some point, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds suggested to Don, you should start working with Justin Baldoni, right? Around the time of the movie. Now, Justin Baldoni was working in, was in the Ojai. Okay, Justin Baldoni was living in Ojai, and the movie was filming in the East Coast. So, and Don Saladino is an East Coast guy. He's in New York. So this was all over online, right? This was also all a across the country type of relationship, obviously. So it wasn't in person. Remember how yesterday I was joking that like, what if Ryan Reynolds was filming them or whatever? This person thinks that it was probably a very virtual session. It was probably all over the phone or all over, text or whatever. So they obviously had a text message chain that we saw in the complaint where he reached out to Don, or Don reached out to him, and Don sent him a Dropbox, which this person says, yes, that's exactly what we got. That's exactly what we saw. Here's the Dropbox. Here's everything. And then Don and he, talked about some workouts. And then they said, can we jump on a quick phone call? Now, during that phone call, probably Justin said something along the lines of, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm struggling with these injuries. Where do you think I'm just assuming it was something like, what do you think I have to work out to so that we can get to a good place that I can lift Blake? How much does she weigh so that I know where I can get to? Like, what's the strength that I have to be at? Which totally makes sense to me, by the way. Now, at the end of that, of course, he probably then immediately got on the phone with Blake or got on the phone with Ryan, who said, hey, what was your conversation with Justin Baldoni? And then it was let go. That on its own is a very, very bad practice for a trainer, because you assume that when you talk to a trainer, you assume that you're feeling like, it's not going to immediately go back, especially to hurt you, right? It's one thing if you're like, yeah, I talked to Justin, I'm going to put him in some great protocol with his back, A, B, and C. But to go and to kind of slime you or throw you under the bus so that you know that you're going to get thrown under the bus in that way. Now, since then, Don Saladino has removed his photos about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. He used to like very heavily promote Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively on his Instagram. Now he unpinned them. Now he had to edit his caption on his Blake Lively post. I think he's trying to like kind of back away from Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively as his clients. But we'll have to see. These relationships are very transactional, you know? I think that we'll have to see what happens with their relationships as this goes on. I wonder if Don Saladino and Ryan Reynolds will even have a relationship, even though they've been training together for so long after all of this drama, because Don will have to be deposed if this goes into a lawsuit. If this goes to court, he will absolutely have to go into this, will have to be deposed. Now, a lot of you guys are saying his code of ethics, this comment says his code of ethics requires he maintain confidentiality. There is no question about it. However, there was no contract in place. I think this was probably a free situation, like a pro bono. Like, hey, do you think that you can train my friend Justin? And I believe he has said that he never got hired by Justin. It wasn't paid. It wasn't any of that. So I wonder if that's actually the case. I see a question here. What husband would allow his wife to go back on set and film very intimate scenes with JB if she has 30 claims of sexual harassment happening to her? It's all lies. Yeah, I mean, there's so many questions about this. I also got a DM the other night from my good friend who is an agent, and she said it was all about the contract. We can talk about this for 6 more years, right? She didn't sign a contract. Right? She could have jumped out of that movie at any point without getting sued, without getting in trouble at all. She never signed a contract until the way end of the movie. She could have walked away in 2 seconds without any liability, without ever having a problem if she really wanted to. She wasn't contractually obligated to be there in any way, which is wild. Never happens. Yes, it's a code of ethics thing, and I completely agree with you about Don. Finally, and I just thought this was really interesting, and then we're going to move on to some Bravo news because I want to talk about Bravo. But there was a really interesting conversation that I had with someone over the weekend when I did my long deep dive on Saturday. By the way, so many of you guys went and watched that long 4.5-hour deep dive. I wonder in the comments here how many of you guys found me this weekend when I did the 4.5-hour deep dive on the complaint. Like, I think that video has 150,000 views. It's like psychotic how many of you guys found me this weekend. But I had a really interesting conversation with someone in the DMs who came to me and she said, oh my God, you don't even know the conversation I had with Candace, what's her name? Candace Hoover? Not Candace. Now it's all in my head. Colleen Hoover, with Colleen Hoover's friend over the weekend. And I said, what? And basically what happened was, hold on, I need to find the actual messages because I saved them. So Colleen Hoover has a best friend one of her best friends who's also an author, and she told me I could share these. So this is not out of like school. I think her name is Julia that sent me these DMs. She's like, share them because she was a fan of this author. This author's name is Tarryn Fisher. Okay. Tarryn Fisher has written books. It's Tarryn Fisher. Tarryn Fisher has written books like, I think her biggest book that she's written is, let's see, she's a South African born novelist, and she's written big books like The Wives. She's written a book with Colleen Hoover called Never Never. She's written a book called Good Half Gone. Like a lot of these kind of very serious, important books about, like not important, but like, thriller type books. She was in Blake Lively's Thank You movie credit. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I had no idea. So Tarryn Fisher, if you go on her Instagram, actually, I'm giving Tarryn Fisher a lot of credit right here. But if you go into Tarryn Fisher's Instagram, she does post about her experience working on or spending time over the summer on It Ends With Us on the movie set. So let's look at it together. Why not? At this point, why not? We're doing deep dives here, right? and then we'll move on, I promise. So I think it's this post. No, this is a later post. This is another post here in September. Colleen is obviously all over this post in September. But then I wonder if she erased it. Let's see. It was in August. So let's see. Maybe this one? This is in May. It's her and Colleen. They're obviously incredibly, incredibly close. I don't know where they are, but they're obviously spending a lot of time together. This says It Ends With Us. So this is when she was doing the premiere or like an event with It Ends With Us. She was there with Colleen every step of the way. Okay. So obviously incredibly, incredibly close with Colleen. And I don't know, she may have deleted the actual thread that she has a picture of Justin in. But at the time, she had a picture up with Justin during this DM thread that this girl, this is her book that she wrote, Good Half Gone. Anyway, she was very close with Colleen during this time, and she was on set for a lot of the movie. So this woman during this time sent Taryn, she was a fan of Taryn's, and she sent Taryn a DM. And it says, I don't believe Blake Lively. Okay. So Taryn responds and she goes, then believe me. And this doser responds, oh, I love you. And then she responds again later and says, serious question. Do you still believe Blake? And this was days and days later. And Taryn responds, yes, with my whole heart. And then Taryn continues, I was on the inside, so I saw and heard things. I really value good men. They're rare. He's not it. This is what Colleen's best friend says. And so then the doser responds over back to Taryn, Colleen's friend, and says, sadly, nothing will convince me she and her dragons weren't the ones causing the drama. Colleen had worked with Justin for years prior to Khaleesi joining, but she didn't see a problem with him all those years, with him or his team. And there were women on his team. All of Blake's press tour was about herself and not even the DV of the movie. And Taryn responds this. I think you guys are cute speculating from the outside, but there's truth. So if you're going to tell Colleen's best friends she knows less than you, bye, girl. The public, LOLOL. You've met Justin, right? Yeah? You've had meals with him and hung out with him? Get the F out of here. And then the doser responds, I just wanted to get real answers. What else does the public know but what the attorneys have said? They seem to know each of their client's side. And then Taryn, Colleen's best friend, says, you like to believe men. You've been in my inbox twice defending him. You're on a dick like most women. Bye. So then the doser responds and sends a picture. And the picture is, it was from May 8th. And it's literally a picture of the author and Colleen and Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath. It's the author and Colleen and Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath from May 8th. Okay? So she posted a picture from May 8th with Justin Baldoni and Colleen Heath and Jamie Heath. And she says, my beautiful best friend, the eighth wonder of the world, so proud of her. So she was clearly okay with Justin Baldoni on set to post a picture of her. They were all okay with Justin Baldoni on set. And the girl, the doser says, and if all is true, why would you post this of someone that was so awful? And she never responded back. So if all of these people on the set, they're like, you don't even know how bad it was, but they have nothing to say about what? Give us something. It was so bad. They all took a blood oath. Come on, give it to me. Tell me what was so bad. Just say it was so bad no matter what. Okay, I will. I'll say he was so mean. He was a bad man. No one has any idea what he did. They're all just living in a Delulu land. He called her sexy. Sexy. Please call me sexy, Justin. Sorry. Can you call me sexy? I've seen you without a shirt on. Call me at 2 a.m. and call me sexy. My husband would be happy. Honestly, it would be great for our sex life. Honestly, it would be great for our sex life. I would probably, not need to take some extra hormones that month, if you know what I mean. Bring it on. Call me sexy, Justin. Okay, let's move on to some other stories. Lindsay Hubbard. Let's talk about Lindsay Hubbard today. You guys, Lindsay Hubbard, there's some drama. We don't know. What's going on? Is Lindsay Hubbard with or without her baby daddy? This is seriously a problem. I need to know, okay? I need to know if Lindsay Hubbard is with her baby daddy or not. And I was there on Tuesday when I recorded with Dumas. Let's talk about this, okay? We need to talk about this. On Tuesday when I recorded Dumas, Du tells me, so I have some Bravo news. Lindsay Hubbard and her baby daddy had broken up. And you can hear me on the podcast. I'm like, oh, no. I was shocked because there hasn't been any thought of it or blinds or anything. I kind of am not surprised, but I was shocked. Okay. I'm not surprised only because she wants to be in the public eye and he does not want to be in the public eye. And that doesn't work usually very well for someone that is very public and wants to be photographed and wants to be on reality TV. And he does not. That doesn't usually work well, but I was shocked. So I'm like, she's going to break some huge news. Now, however, my girlfriend Lauren over at the Housewives Nightcap and Emily, I was DMing with them today because they also released a podcast with Lindsay. And she's not talking about the fact that they're separated. And it was released today. And they recorded it yesterday. But I didn't listen to my episode with Du, so I don't know what she left in and what she didn't. But when I talked to Du, what she told me, and sometimes she edits stuff out of the podcast, so I don't know if she left this in, like I said, but Du told me that she got an email from a very good source, a very reliable source that said, wait a couple days before you release this. So I believe it's true. It's definitely true, actually. Do you think that Lindsay and him broke up because she wants to do reality TV? I think whatever it is, she got her baby. And that is, to me, the biggest thing that matters. Do you think that Lindsay Hubbard can ever be with someone that doesn't want to be on reality TV? Come on. Come on. But I need Lindsay to be on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Are you kidding me? That would be the best edition, not Beverly Hills, New York, best edition we'd ever see. She cannot go back onto Summer House. Cannot. We can't see a mom on Summer House. Enough. A pregnant person is going to be hard enough. A mom, please don't do this to us. Please don't do it. I am absolutely beyond excited to see Summer House. That's my favorite show on the channel. No question on Bravo. Summer House is that's my Roman Empire on Bravo. Obsessed, need Summer House to come back. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. The first 6 minutes yesterday, they got released. I am so excited. Although I do like when Lindsay is drunk and unhinged and activated. And of course, she's going to be very calm this season. So excited. So excited. Now, speaking of babies, Madison from Southern Charm is pregnant. And just like a good Bravo lady did, she learned well from Lindsay. She announced with Clear Blue. So she and her husband, Brett, are having another baby. Does anyone care? I mean, it's very exciting news. It's very exciting news. So basically, everyone's moving forward with their lives. And Craig is sitting at home and saying why me? What about me? Now, I just saw something on Instagram about the Southern Charm reunion, and Andy saying something that Craig is gonna talk about his breakup with Paige. Let's see this together. Hold on.
Okay, we are on lunch break for the Southern Charm reunion, which is going very well. Mr. Conover, you are on Watch What Happens Live tonight. We've not heard from you yet about your relationship. I have a lot of questions. Do you have answers for me?
I'm so nervous.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, I haven't talked about it in 2 months, and then
I'm
just gonna be honest and hopefully kind, and but yeah, my nervous system's wrecked.
Okay, because I do have a lot of questions.
I'm sure you do.
Okay, we'll see you tonight. Okay.
You guys, something about Craig's face, like it makes me smile. It makes me smile when I see Craig's eyes. Does anyone else feel that way? Like just looking at his eyes makes me smile. Oh, when he smiles, his eyes smile. That is what it is. Patricia says, why is he so red? I think he's nervous. He looks nervous.
What was your reaction to that montage? Did you see tonight's episode?
No, that would have been pure. I've never lied on camera, not one time.
What?
Ever.
Craig?
I swear to you that I've never lied on camera.
Craig,
People
you
say
need to
I've
watch
lied.
tonight's episode.
It aired.
There is a montage.
Shep saying I lied about the bar isn't me lying about the bar.
Okay. Essie, help me out here. What did you see on tonight's episode?
I mean,
Oh
it
my
was
God.
lie.
Okay.
Lie.
All right. I
You're
will
a
tell you
changed man,
that
but
I've never
this
lied
happened.
on camera.
Okay. There
That
is
was
a
a lie.
we're going to talk about this at the
That was you lying. He really is the biggest liar on camera there is. And while I'm here on Queens of Bravo, look who shows up to the actual reunion on Southern Charm. We have JT. I'm so glad he actually comes back. I'm so glad he actually comes back because unless something crazy happens towards the end of the season, JT deserves a shot to like stand up for himself because he so far hasn't actually done anything really wrong. And I like that Leva's at the end because Leva brings absolutely nothing to that show. Does anyone else agree? Now, Southern Hospitality is doing really well this season. I haven't covered it at all. I think it's because I watch it during the weekend. And then by Monday, I'm just like kind of not even thinking about it. Another show I haven't started watching yet, but I hear it's really good, is Below Deck Down Under with our Captain Jason. Is anyone else watching that? We got to watch Below Deck Down Under. I'm very, very interested in watching it because I love Captain Jason. Lindsay and Captain Jason. Lindsay and Captain Jason, I called it first. Anyone? Lindsay and Captain Jason, it's such a cute couple. August says no. Holt says no. Why? Okay, so who should Lindsay date? She's too intense for him, Christelle says. Well, you kind of can't put Lindsay with an intense person. You need Lindsay with someone that's like calm. Okay, fine. Everyone says no. It's a bad idea. Fine. It's okay. We can disagree. I like a disagreement in my comments. Okay, got it. Stop yelling at me, Cindy. Stop yelling at me, friends. I love you. Holly says Harry Dubin. I'm dead. I'm falling on the floor. Dead. Who else, you guys? Someone come up with a better idea. Okay? Someone come up with a better idea than my boyfriend, Captain Jason. What about Bronwyn's? What about Todd? Let's get Todd in for this guy. Lindsay and Todd. You know, Todd really disappointed at this last episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. He just didn't show up for us. He just really, he had an affair and then he left. Do you think Todd actually had an affair or not? Bronwyn's Todd. I don't think he did. Or if he did, I don't think he knows he did. So confused by Todd. I have to say something really fast. The reunions sometimes are a hit and miss for me. Hit and miss. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I thought by reunion episode 3, I think I'm usually over it. Does anyone else feel this way, or is it just in my world? I usually feel like by reunion episode 3, I'm like, okay, we're done. It's usually episode 1. I'm like, Beyonce, That's Beyonce's I Just Won Country Award winner. I'm usually like that on episode 1, maybe 2. But by episode 3, I'm like, okay, wrap it up. Like, can we get to the next show? I'm done with it. I'm like, yeah, okay. So it feels like, to me, I'm already annoyed with it. I'm already annoyed with the Britney of it. I'm annoyed with Bronwyn. You know my feelings about Bronwyn. I really truly enjoy Mary on this show. You know me, I am a stan for Lisa Barlow, and I just cannot handle Whitney. I am sorry. You guys, please tell me. I like this to be a collaborative conversation in the comments. How do we get Whitney off the show? I don't want her to be fired. I don't want her to lose a job, but like, how do we get her off the show? I just want to burn the book with Lisa Barlow. I'm like, all the glasses in my house just broke. Someone thinks I have a shrill voice. Holy shnikes, I was dying. I just want to burn the book with Lisa Barlow. Also her body language the entire show, and I don't know if it was that or if it was Bronwyn's. Bronwyn had tsunamis coming off of her shoulders. I mean, I don't need to bring in my props again for that, right? Remember my blankets? I think that's why I have back problems. It's from last week when I brought Bronwyn's shoulders onto my arms. Do you guys remember when I brought my shoulders onto my arms? Bronwyn's outfit? I mean, literally, I'm not joking. I think I threw out my back. But when Bronwyn's shoulders, and then Whitney, towards the end of the episode, she started here, but by the end of the episode, Andy's over there. She's like this. She literally wanted to leave the show. It was so what was that? She was having some sort of it was giving me Ghost. You remember Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg? Like she was having one of those where they come into your body, like a Beetlejuice moment. That's what it felt like. It felt like a Beetlejuice moment. Like someone came into her body and she got one of those, I can't remember the word. What is it called when a ghost enters your body and all of a sudden they take it over? And she's like, I just want to like the whole possessed. She was possessed. She was possessed. And I was possessed with wanting to turn off my TV. I think that's why I'm so bitter at the last episode. Let's talk about this idea about this pretending like it was natural and a normal thing about like, hey, let's have a conversation about this game where you take your text out and you find the worst text you've ever written about anyone. And let me just tell you, talking about the dragon text, that's the worst text. Blake played that game when she did this lawsuit. This lawsuit is Blake playing the game that Heather Gay created. Like Heather Gay walked so Blake Lively could run. This game is enough to break any friendship there ever was. If anyone could look at my phone to find out the worst texts I've ever sent about anyone, like, put me on an island. I've lost every friend I've ever had. I've lost every marriage. I mean, every marriage. Like I'm a sister wife. I've lost everything, right? Everything. It's so odd. The worst game ever. So the producers came up with this. Let's not forget. And I mean, I don't really care about anyone else's burn books or whatever, but the Whitney and the Lisa Barlow, I will always stand with Lisa on this one. Whitney is so annoying with her trying to take down Lisa. Get over it. She always thinks it's Lisa's fault. No, Whitney, it's you. You're a gnat. You're a gnat in her ear. Bronwyn reading the text that Jared wrote. Guys, speaking of text messages, never, ever, guys, never put anything in a text that you don't want out there. It's gonna come out. Don't put a text out there ever, especially like if you're Jared Osmond to a woman. The fact that he put that text out there and Bronwyn hasn't sued Jared for sexual or threat or harassment, just harassment. Can you imagine if Justin Baldoni texted that to Blake? She may actually have won this case. The text that Bronwyn got from Jared is so out of control. If you haven't heard it, it's time to hear it. It is the wildest text you've ever heard.
What the hell is your problem? Are you kidding me? Coming out on national television making fun of my anatomy, you little bitch. Do you even understand the backlash I'm getting on social media? I guarantee I am twice the size of any man you've ever been with. I am disgusted by what a low vibrational human you are to disparage me like that, all for the sake of trying to earn your spot on a show. And this is my favorite part. I could certainly pick apart all of your anatomy, but I'll remain classy in the public eye and keep it between you and me.
I would like a poll in the comments. How many of us think that Jared's peepee looks very, very small? I think Jared has a very small penis, and I believe, my guess is that we triggered something in him. There's an insecurity that just was triggered in this. He was not happy about that. Not happy about that. Yes, Patricia says, definitely a little dick energy. There is no question. LDE, baby. LDE. Isn't that? Oh, no, that's a LDS. What's the, isn't there a religion? What do they call the more, like, isn't there LD, something like that? Grower, not a shower. Maybe he's not a grower or a shower. The craziest thing about Brittany, and I really struggle with her because I can't even really feel bad for her because of the fact that she puts men before her daughters. Because that's so horrible. We've all, like, I'm sure we've all had experience. LDS, that is it. I believe that putting a relationship before your kids is the worst kind of mom or dad there is out there, right? The fact that she admits it so openly, and then the fact that she's still with him, at least as far as I know, because after this episode, she was like, and that's why I'm 100%, 1,000% done with him. And then she got back together with him after they filmed that episode. Like, she's like a done. You can't operate with her anymore. She's done. It's so sad. And she did it for casting. Like, she was talking about it in casting, yes. And then blame Bronwyn. Yes, that was wild. Now, you know my feelings about Bronwyn, but that's not Bronwyn's fault. Not Bronwyn's fault at all whatsoever. I think the stars of the season, 1,000%, were Angie and Mary. Give me Angie and Mary for the rest of my life. Like, I don't care about, like, move over Sonia and Luann. I want Angie and Mary to go to that motel. I can't remember the name of it, but take Angie and Mary on a road trip. How good would that be, you guys? Angie and Mary are the duo that we can watch go anywhere. Take them on an island, go on a road trip, get them, like, to do anything together. They are so good together. They're so funny. They are so, they're just so phenomenal together. I love them together. There's heart, there's comedy, there's just seeing them, like, do makeovers. That would be the best. If, like, seeing them go and do makeovers, seeing Angie do the hair, seeing Mary be honest about, like, people's style or their house or something, it would just be so good. Crappy Lake, Salt Lake City style. It would be an amazing connection. And yes, Callie says, and they're not faking it like Sonia and Luann, and also not drinking, a gallon of vodka a day like Sonia supposedly was doing. Oh, it would just be phenomenal. It would just be so good. So anyway, they ended the episode with trying to be like, say something nice to each other. Everyone say something nice, which always is funny to me. But I think it's a perfect cast. I thought it was a phenomenal season of Salt Lake City. I am so excited that, we wrapped it up with a bow and that we're going to also get Summer House next Wednesday. I think it's going to be great. And then tonight will be Southern Charm. and Southern Hospitality. And we will have a really, really good run of Bravo again. And tomorrow, you guys, hopefully we'll get this updated complaint. So come back tomorrow because we will be breaking it down. I'm sure it's going to be good. Okay. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, for supporting the show, for subscribing, for liking it. And then please, please, please continue to leave positive reviews on Apple Podcasts. They're helping so much, you guys. Thank you for all of your support. I will read you guys a couple of new ones that I got. I got one from 8gem29 saying fun and entertaining. I'm hooked. I found Donna accidentally on IG as she was talking about the Lively Baldoni case. I was not interested in the case, but her thoughts on the matter caused me to pause and finally look into it. What a rabbit hole of information. But with everything learned, I found myself circling back to her thoughts. And then I found out about her YouTube and podcast. What a jackpot. She's even more entertaining on those two platforms. Here's another one. Distillation of details from Delamere. And it says Donna's Daily Dish commentaries on current events are both honest and intelligent. I'm intelligent, y'all. As well as infused with off-the-cuff comedic relief. Unlike so many creators on platforms today, Donna is quick to give credit to sources and those who work behind the scenes, a seemingly forgotten concept in world of the supposed singularly curated, created, successful, and are famous. I look forward to each day to Donna's take, and I'm cheering from the screen as her viewership continues to grow. That is so kind. I appreciate Yvonne. Everyone wants to know. Yvonne just landed from her flight. She is safe and she just got to her car and she didn't miss a beat. She's driving home on the 101 North. Thank God for Yvonne and all the flight attendants out there that are doing all the service and getting us all the Bloody Marys and the peanuts. We love you all. Thank you all. Bye, you guys. Have a great Thursday. Bye.